Hi, my name is Mon, and this is my data analysis presentation on season one of Dexter Original Sin. If you haven't seen at least the first season of this show, I recommend that you come back to this video later as there will be spoilers ahead. Basically, what I did is I just watched the season of Dexter Original Sin and recorded data about who dies, how they die, and who kills them. I did the same thing with the original run of Dexter as well as Dexter New Blood, and I'll kind of compare a little bit to those. I do also have videos for both of those, and I will also link those in the description. Additionally, I'm filming this on March 1st, 2025. It looks as though there may be seasons in the future, so I will put links to those in the descriptions if they exist and when they exist. Otherwise, for now, this is just season one. So to start with, I have some notes I used. This is a crime hierarchy that I've kind of used for all of my crime show data analysis projects, but finally I actually made a chart of it. Basically, if a victim dies, it is always murder. I never put any other crimes if it's within that episode. Some exceptions, especially if the show is in the format of Dexter. Things like mayhem, attempted murder, arson, and bombing. Those are kind of on the same level. I would not record those together at all. Abduction, kidnapping, other and robberies, which is kind of forensic file specific, honestly. And then rape and other plot relevant crimes. Okay, how it works is that crimes can imply the ones below it. So if I say murder, that could imply abduction, and it frequently does. But I would not record something like mayhem and attempted murder at the same time because they're on the same level. For data purposes, things like evidence tampering, break and entering, blah, 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 those are ignored. Some other notes specific to Dexter is I didn't record anything happened in a flashback. My logic on that is that the characters know that happened. They don't know what's happening currently. However, I do generally try to make a note of them. I don't know why when I'm watching if there's a flashback, I just like don't process it in the same way, but that is how my brain works. If I don't see a body, it is not counted. That means if I don't see someone who's clearly about to die, someone who has just died, or body in the morgue, then there has been no death and I don't count it. Minor crimes, beating or hitting, are not counted. Kidnapping refers to the victim being under 18, where the abduction is over 18. And mayhem, if you're unfamiliar with a criminal definition, it's like assault, but more permanent. It's like advanced maiming. That's what I wrote on the chart. And finally, as I said, murder beats all other crimes. I did make some changes in how I recorded data for Dexter Original Sin compared to how I recorded data for Dexter and Dexter New Blood, since those projects, those other two were done about 2 years ago at this point, and my data collection techniques have just evolved over time. So, first of all, in the original run, the emphasis was kind of on the episode, where in my Excel sheet I would have one row was an episode, and that's all that episode got. But for this season and for all of my recent projects, the emphasis is more so on the criminal. And this makes it easier to correlate the criminal with their victim count, as well as easier to correlate the criminal and the cause of death. When I was looking through my data for the original Dexter, it was kind of difficult for me to figure out exactly who killed who, exactly who committed what crime, because I wasn't putting names either. That's the other thing. I actually record the name of the criminal now. Oh yeah, and I actually recorded the cause of death. I did not record cause of death for Dexter or Dexter New Blood. It is still weird if someone is held captive over multiple episodes, but I think I've come up with a better system of working through that, especially with shows that haven't been on as long. Additionally, this season did have the longest consecutive kidnapping in all of Dexter. However, that's in terms of episodes, so I think Loomis still wins longest captivity in terms of like days within Dexter. That was an observation I had. Also, additionally, if you haven't noticed, I've been referring to the seasons very specifically. So from this point on, if I say original, I'm referring to the first Dexter series, which aired from 2006 to 2013. You see NB or New Blood written, that's the sequel series, which aired in 2021 to 2022. And OS or Original Sin is the prequel series, which aired 2024 to 2025. Couple observations. This is the first chainsaw murder I've ever recorded. And I know there were chainsaw murders in the original Dexter. Brian/Rudy killed people with a chainsaw, but I was not recording cause of death, so I've never had to make a chainsaw category before. When I was watching the episode and he started getting a chainsaw out, I had to pause and just be like, wait, what do I write this down as? And then I had to make a chainsaw category. I also recorded a not a crime death, which I've not done outside of Forensic Files. I can't really remember if I've done this much in other projects. I know I did on Forensic Files, but that was a different format. Additionally, I noticed they did a good ending, which is what makes me think that it's not a series finale, because they seem good at wrapping up seasons, but not series. Anyway, let's start with the ratings of the show. So first of all, as I said, it's March 1st. The show ended 2 weeks and 1 day ago. I like to wait just a couple weeks for the ratings to like kind of settle out, I guess. This is the rating trend for Dexter Original Sin. As you can see, there are 10 episodes, starts at 8.3 and ends at 9.1. It does actually follow the trend of the original series seasons. which is that the second episode is almost always lower than the first. Kind of like, you're starting out with a bang, but then you kind of have to like go and maybe explain some of the first episode. There's a lull around episode 5 or 6, kind of the midpoint. Then it increases throughout the rest of the season, and most seasons did end on a really fairly high note, usually above 9. Oh my God, I didn't put access labels on this graph yet. Episode number, and these are the IMDb ratings. How could I forget that? This is the ratings for all Dexter seasons overlaid with each other. It looks a little messy. Looks a little messy, but you can see the overall trend of the show. Down here we have the episode number. On the axes, I forgot to label again. This is IMDb rating out of 10. You can see a lot of them start with a line that first goes down. Either the second episode's often lower. The exceptions are season 3 in yellow. You can see season 8 is actually the lowest overall, with a kind of slow decline towards the whole end of it. And then it just does that and it goes all the way down to like 4.7. New Blood is this kind of brownish gold line. I did cut New Blood and Original Sin in half so that the like finales and pilots would line up. But yeah, that one also went bad. But Original Sin, which is this dark green color, does go up at the end like every other season. Additionally, I did not retake the original or New Blood ratings from 2022. And as I said, seasons tend to start off high. Most seasons are grouped between 8 and 9, like almost in their entirety, with a lot of, the high points being above 9. And then you can see seasons 6 and 8 are the lowest, where they have the most points below 8. And of course, season 8 and New Blood end quite badly. This is the season average and standard deviation for every season. As you can see, season 8 has the lowest average and a very high standard deviation. However, New Blood, because it was really highly rated throughout until the last episode, it actually has a very high standard deviation of 1.34. Highest rated season is season 4, 8.89, and a standard deviation of 0.49. Original Sin actually ranks between seasons 3 and 5, and is the exact middle season. Yeah, Original Sin is like very average in terms of rating what people thought of it. All right, now onto the crimes. One thing I always like making a slide of is the specific things I did not record as crimes, which is obviously fighting and punching, Nicky stabbing his captor with like an awl sort of thing, any form of drugging or stalking, Deb stealing a car, and whatever the heck Gio was doing on that boat. I don't know what that was, and I did not write it down. However, the crimes I did record were murder, kidnapping, mayhem, attempted murder, and not a crime. Any cause of deaths I recorded relating only to murder, shooting, stabbing, asphyxiation, blunt force trauma, poison, and chainsaw. These are the counts of each crime by episode. There were 10 total episodes, and in 7 of them a murder occurred, as well as in 7 of them a kidnapping occurred. There's also 3 mayhems, 2 attempted murders, and 1 not a crime death. Okay, this bar chart shows us the crimes by victim count. Of course, it looks a little different because in just 7 episodes, 19 people were murdered. And although there was kidnapping across another 7 episodes, there was only 2 different victims, Jimmy and Nikki. There were 3 mayhems that didn't change, the 2 attempted murders didn't change, and there was still 1 not a crime death. I will add the kidnapping victims were also the mayhem victims, like, at the same time, I guess. They were mayhemed while they were being kidnapped. But because the kidnapping was over several episodes, I did record that as well. That's one of the things I was talking about earlier with my crime hierarchy, where in this format of a show, someone getting held captive for multiple episodes gets a little confusing when other things happen to them while they're being kidnapped. Additionally, Nikki was also one of the attempted murders, so he's on here 3 times. This is the crime by episode bar chart for the original run, not including New Blood. As you can see, there were over 70 episodes where murder occurred. There were quite a few abductions. However, I did not make the distinction between abduction and kidnapping. It was all grouped together. All the ages were grouped together. A couple arsons, couple mayhems, couple others, and a couple attempted murders. In these just over 70 episodes, there were 152 people killed on screen. 56 of whom were killed by Dexter, 96 were killed by other people, and there were 16 separate abductions. The 3 mayhems all involved cutting pieces off of people, which is what most mayhem is, but it wasn't like removing eyes. It was more like cutting skin off, cutting a guy's tongue out. I don't remember what the third one was. Back to Original Sin for the causes of deaths, because again, I did not record that for Dexter. Obviously, Dexter's preferred cause of death is stabbing, and in the original series, he has quite a few that aren't stabbing. However, as he's learning to become a serial killer, all of his murders are stabbing. Brian preferred blunt force trauma, but did not solely stick to that. He did also use the chainsaw, and the cops and the cartels preferred shooting. The one poisoning is Nurse Mary, and I believe the asphyxiation is also Brian. The others in mayhems are very simple. There is an episode towards the start of the season where Dexter was going to kill a man, but he got hit by a car instead. That's the not a crime death. And the mayhems are all the cutting off of the pinky finger of Jimmy, Nikki, and Aaron Spencer. And now on to the criminals who committed these crimes. Obviously, in this season, they brought Brian Moser in, who was the season one season killer, as I called him. If we look at what he did in season one, he was known as the ice truck killer. He had 9 on-screen kills. However, we know that he killed 2 people prior to the season. He obviously killed the real Rudy and his biological father. His other crimes were mayhem, other, and abduction, 2 abductions. He That was what the other mayhem was. It was the cutting off of limbs. I forgot about that one. Yeah, he cut off a guy's limbs. The other was filling a motel room with the blood of like 5 people. And the abduction was when he took Deb hostage across the last 2 episodes of the season. However, if you look at original Sin Brian Moser, it's simultaneously a little less all over the place and a little more all over the place because he doesn't have a moniker yet. He kills 5 people on screen. The causes of death are 1 by gun, 2 by blunt force trauma, 1 by asphyxiation, and 1 by chainsaw. So his cause of deaths are a little more all over the place, but he really only committed murder. He didn't have any kills prior to season one. However, he did attempt to murder baby Deborah, and he committed other crimes. And now, across these 2 seasons and what we can probably assume is most of his life, he killed 16 people. Aaron Spencer, who is the other kind of season killer this season, has no moniker. He has 1 on-screen kill. Yeah, I say he has 0 kills prior to season. However, he is a very highly ranked um, police captain or whatever, so it's extremely likely that he has killed someone, but not in like the serial killer sense. So 0. His other crimes were kidnapping of Jimmy and Nikki, attempted murder of Nikki, and the mayhems of Jimmy and Nikki. As I just said, he kidnapped Jimmy for 2 episodes and Nikki for 5. He attempted to drown Nikki in the last one, and he did cut off both of their pinkies. These are the victims slash kills by each criminal. I removed all of the repeated victims. So Dexter did mayhem Aaron Spencer, but he also did kill him, so he's only counted as a murder victim. So Dexter kills 4, Levi Reed kills 3, Nurse Mary kills 1, Aaron Spencer kills 2. He kills Jimmy and a guy at that cartel house, and he attempts to kill Nikki. Brian Moser kills 5. Miscellaneous Miami Metro Police Department killed 4, and Miscellaneous Cartel attempted to kill Bobby, so that's 1. So obviously Brian's the deadliest. Dexter is tied with the Miami Metro Police Department. However, I think these 4 were pretty much all in one night at the cartel house. And Levi Reed did kill off screen prior to the first episode, as did Nurse Mary, since she's like an angel of death type person. All right, can't talk about the criminals without zooming in on Dexter specifically. So Dexter this season has no moniker. He has 4 on-screen kills. He has killed no one prior to this season. His other crimes are mayhem, when he cut off Spencer's pinky. Additionally, all of his crimes, all of his murders were by stabbing. These are his kills by season. I copied this slide from my last slideshow. Basically, this is like his tied for least deadliest season with season 8. And as for whether or not he killed this season killer, I said no slash yes. He killed Aaron Spencer, but Brian Moser got away. However, Brian Moser does die in season 1. I also did put a lot of time into figuring out exactly how many people Dexter has killed, combined with notes from my last presentation, and I had to update it with new information from Dexter Original Sin. So I'm gonna walk through this. If you want to skip ahead and just hear the final total, I'll put a timestamp on the screen. You can just go there. But this is various tables in order of Dexter's life chronologically. So this does assume that Dexter's first kill after Aaron Spencer is the first victim he takes a blood slide from, and that every person he did not take a blood slide from is shown on the show. His first kill in Original Sin is also seen in season 1, episode 4 of Dexter. And his first 3 kills do not end up in the ocean. And then with Aaron Spencer, he does start putting them in the ocean. Before season 1 of Dexter, and between seasons 1 and 2, since we don't really know how much time that is, he kills 35 people for a total of 39 victims and takes 35 slides. He then kills 7 throughout season 1 and takes 7 slides. In season 2, episode 1, they find 18, possibly 30 of his bodies in the ocean. I did not quite get a solid number on that. In season 2, episode 9, Dokes takes the blood slides, and it is clearly shown that there are 46 total, is where I got the 35 before season 1 from, just by subtracting everything above it. In the last episodes of season 2, he kills 4, but he doesn't take any blood slides, and he also doesn't have a blood slide box. Then, in the last episode, the Miami PD has his slides, so he's back down to 0. Between seasons 2 and 3, he kills 4 with 4 blood slides in a new box. On the first part of season 3, he kills 5, takes 5 slides. Then in season 2, episode 7, he kills Camilla, but he doesn't take a slide because it's like a mercy kill kind of thing. The rest of season 3, he kills 3 people and takes 3 slides. Between seasons 3 and 4, he kills 7 and takes 7 slides. In the first part of season 4, he kills 2, takes 2 slides. Then in season 4, episode 6, Dexter is shown to have exactly 21 blood slides. I counted. In the end of season 4, he kills 3 and takes 3 blood slides. He has now killed 79 people. Now, there wasn't much time between season 4 and season 5, so I can't imagine he had time to kill. So I put question mark, question mark, question mark, but I imagine that's 0. However, at the very start of season 5, episode 1, he claims to have watched 67 die, which if you add the number of blood slides that he's shown to have, 46 in season 2 and then 21 in season 4, episode 6, that is 67 if you add it up. However, at this point, he's actually taken 70 blood slides and has killed 79 people. So I don't know where Dexter's getting that number from, but I see where the production got it from. Is it possible Dexter doesn't remember how many people he's killed and that's why he has the blood slides? He doesn't have 67 blood slides, so I don't know where he's getting that from. Anyway, throughout season 5, he kills 7, but takes only 5 slides. Between seasons 5 and 6, he kills 9 and takes 9 blood slides. First part of season 6, he kills 5, takes 5 slides. In season 6, episode 3, he is shown to have 43 slides at the end of the episode. The rest of season 6, he kills 6 people, but takes not a single slide. He does take a slide from Travis, but he lost it, so he doesn't have it. Throughout season 7, he kills 7 people, but only takes 1 slide. Then, in season 7, episode 4, Dexter says he will take no more slides, and he burns his slide box. In season 8, he kills 4 and takes no more slides. He's up to 117 by the end of Dexter. Then, in Dexter New Blood, he kills 5 people and takes no slides. This brings his grand total up to 122 people and 90 blood slides. However, if we get a second season of Dexter Original Sin, until Dexter takes that first blood slide, this number will continue to go up. And I'd imagine, and this is my prediction for what will happen if there is a season 2 of Dexter Original Sin, is that it's going to end with the season finale. Whoever he kills then will be the first blood slide he takes. And that's when that number will stop increasing. But for now, it is 122 people. Okay, now let's talk about the victims, because this show continues a very interesting trend I've seen across all the shows I've done data analysis for. This is the gender of the murder victims in Dexter Original Sin. There were 12 men and 7 women. And if you take the percentages of these, male is roughly 2/3 and female is roughly 1/3. And here's a list of the other shows that have a 2/3 split in gender of dead people. Dexter, Dexter New Blood, Dexter Original Sin, Criminal Minds Evolution, Forensic Files, and 6 Feet Under. I will add, I did not take the genders of murder victims in the original run of Criminal Minds, and the only show that does not have a 2/3 split in the gender of dead people is the entirety of Fargo. Some other information that kind of relates to Dexter Original Sin. If you haven't watched my channel before, you might not know that I not only love taking data from crime shows, I also love looking at correlations between pop culture and the United States baby name trends using the Social Security Administration's name data. And I recently discovered that if you graph the number of boys named Dexter by year from 1880 to 2023, the currently available data, this is what it looks like. As you can see, this is 2006, and this is a very sharp increase. The show caused this third peak, and as I'm going to talk about when I inevitably release my Gen Alpha video in probably June, this is from a soap opera, and this one is from a comic book. But while it did increase slightly in 2021, it did not increase enough for me to say that there's a correlation between that and between New Blood and this slight increase. However, from 2006 to 2012, this peak up here, the name increased 302.87%. And I have looked at enough names to know what a sharp increase as a result of something looks like, and this is sharp enough that this is almost definitely related to the show Dexter. Anyway, that's the end of this video for now. If you want to see future data videos for any Dexter content that comes out, subscribe, because if they keep making seasons, I will of course keep being here watching and analyzing and visualizing and presenting. And I know that they're currently working on Dexter Resurrection, so which is just another title I have to remember, but I will of course make a video when that releases. Hope you enjoyed this, hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.